Set. 19. 53. Mike. Let's go, D. It's going to be a long time.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Johnson. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. And Stills bringing it in. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Let's go, Captain. Let's go. We got this.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Reset. 19. Mike. I got you.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Jabal Sheard coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Fourth down, so the Texans dial up the number of their 2nd-year punter, Trevor Daniel. T.Y. Hilton deep for the Colts. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And that had far too much air under it. It's out of the back of the end zone, and the football will come out to the 20-yard line. This is Marlon Mack, 3rd-year running back. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Brissett now. Catch made here by Campbell. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mack off the draw play. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Eight yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. On 2nd down, here's a run with Mack. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. Benardrick McKinney, a first-time Pro Bowler a season ago, in on the tackle there.
Don't get nervous. Wahoo! Bring it, guys. Spike.
On 3rd and 1, here's Brissett. Steps away, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Benardrick McKinney in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. Now this is fielded in the end zone. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6.
There goes Duke Johnson, the 30. A big run there by Johnson, 67 yards. And you hear it all the time, but that's one of the dangers of the blitz. You get past that first wave, nobody else is there.
And when teams blitz, what they're trying to do is make you lose your poise, lose your timing and your tempo. But when you hold it together, you can really hurt them the other way, getting past that first wave.
Now Watson. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked by Pierre Desir. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Pick up a 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 44-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Brissett. Campbell making the catch. And it's a big play there as he is finally taken down on what will be a terrific final act of this first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Brissett. Ebron's got it. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Mack, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. 20, 10, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead.
Makes the score Texans 7, Colts nothing.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do they do?
Touchdown, Indianapolis! Deion Kane, 78 yards, as they are now on the board here in the first half. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. The result's not great thus far. A punt on the first drive and an interception last time out.
And let's face it, every team wants to come out on the field and play with some confidence, play with some tempo, play with some rhythm. And when you're making those types of mistakes, you're not getting any of that put together.
So what do you say, time to get back to the basics for them?
In a lot of ways, yes, but the biggest one, of course, is finding people who will take care of the football and make a few plays. You've got to have a drive now that calms down the entire team.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now it's Watson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one good for 37 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Johnson. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson going deep here for Stills. And this is caught inside the 5. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Kenny Stills, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans have taken the lead. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game.
Makes the score Texans 14, Colts 7.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Throwing. Brissett. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And give the tackle to Anthony Walker.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Second and 5 now. Watson. He's going to look deep in zone for Hopkins. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Brissett. That'll be caught by Rodgers. And I think the ball's out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. If the ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Right here, right here. Mike 51, Mike 51.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
From the 41, Brissett, and he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big gain of 38 there on 3rd down.
That's good for the Colts. First down.
Championship, baby. Check, 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 check.
Out of the gun, Brissett looking for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Chester Rogers that time. And now it's 2nd down.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls and you've had that kind of lack of success.
Absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Brissett sets to throw it. Throw left side here, complete to Campbell. And he'll get nothing out of that one. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Let's set a tone, fellas.
On 3rd down, Brissett. And he connects with Ebron. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 17-yard line. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always...
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
I don't think it's any state secret to know what they were saying before the start of this drive. Let's go and punch one in the end zone and go into the halftime feeling a heck of a lot better about ourselves. Let's go get this done.
Yeah, tie things up, and then you got a brand new ball game. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They'll keep it on the ground again here. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. The first down carry here for Johnson. He spins free. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
He's not going to get me.
On 2nd and 9, Brissett, and he hits his tight end, Ebron. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards on the play, first down.
We always hear from coaches how much they like to run crossing routes because they want to hit their receivers on the go, get them the ball, and keep them moving. How about when you hit a tight end that way? Okay, the receivers are going to run past you most of the time. The tight end, they can do their damage a different way, break a few tackles, and really scatter some people, can't they?
At the 35-yard line.
Hey, defense, let's go. 41's coming. 41's the mic. Check Mike.
On 2nd and 12, Brissett is going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Tight right, tell us, you got three down. Go. Hey, Mike 51. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? Heavy? Here we go.
From the gun, here's Brissett. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So stop here defensively to start this third quarter. Just what's needed in a tie ball game.
Yeah, good chance to build back some momentum on the defensive side of the ball. In fact, what they've done is give their offense a nice push in the back as they get ready to take the field.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
So they wound up passing on a long field goal try, but that works out for them really well. That one's down inside the 5-yard line.
And it's risky because your punter, if he puts it in the end zone, the net result not worth it, but there, I think worth it. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on second down. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Let's go set. 19. Number 53. Mike 53.
Now a 1st down throw. Watson. And his throw here's incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins, the Pro Bowler, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Basically, you're not going to outwork 2 guys very often.
Double coverage. I thought he was going to go somewhere else with the football. I get it. That's a stud wide receiver. You want to try to get him the football.
Yeah, sometimes you rely on him a bit too much. You forget the other options that are out there.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. 3rd and long. It's Watson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. That's sacked by the DN, Danico Autry.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Off the play fake, here's Brissett. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
He's going to launch this thing. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense.
41 for Mark.
To throw is Brissett. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Taken in at the 22. Still on his feet.
We got this. The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, a run for Johnson. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 20-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And thee coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked.
T.Y. Hilton, nobody to beat. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys are able to regain the lead. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and the lead is now 21-14. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down.
It's a gain of 20.
Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. The linebacker Darius Leonard applied the heat.
A loss of 11 yards.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. In 2018, Deshaun Watson had 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. Only Drew Brees of the Saints had more with 6. To try again after the sack, Watson. And he rifles Rifles one incomplete. Kenny Stills, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up third down. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points, said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. In on the sack, the former Buckeye, Tyquan Lewis. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. Pull down. Check.
On 1st and 10, Brissett. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Whitney merciless, able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. They run with Hines. A good pickup there. 18 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing. Because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
They'll try and run for this with Mack. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 16 yards the pickup there. The Colts have a 1st down.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk? Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you...
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Watson, he's letting this one go for Fuller. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. Watson hitting Fuller with a big one. 52 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Here's Watson. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. There's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Watson now to throw. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Give the sack to Kamoko Toure. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, fourth quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4's kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. On 2nd down now, it's Mack, and he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll stay with Mack on the ground. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Now it's Hines, and he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Here's Brissett. He completes this one to Mack. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give the Colts 13 yards and a 1st down. He's having a big game through the air, and sometimes those smart decisions just dump it off. That's how you continue to have big games through the air.
I agree totally. That's a great analogy, a great way to put it, because he doesn't get too greedy where everything has to be pushed downfield, trying to create big plays that aren't there. You dump it off and take that nice gain, and things add up, and now you have the kind of game he's having.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Hines, and I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. 2nd and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
Because it's third down.
Hey, ready? We got to rush that. Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Convert it.
The Colts in victory formation now as they take the knee. So this one winds up in Indianapolis victory, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of. But now it's about taking the ball away, taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Colts, it's a much-needed victory as it gets them back to 2-4 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.